Session number 3 of lesson number 2, nutrition in animals, where we have seen various points. And last time we have seen about the teeth, milk teeth, permanent teeth, and we have started just point the mouth and buccal cavity, in which we have discussed how the food is digested in the mouth itself, how the saliva acts on it. For that we had conducted one activity also, activity number 2.3, where we have seen how the saliva acts on the starch and convert it into the sugar. Okay, now we are on the page number 14, which is on your screen. The tongue is a fleshy muscular organ attached at the back of the floor of buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. The tongue, which is present in the mouth, it's a fleshy muscular organ, and where it is attached, it is attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is free at the front and can be moved in all directions. From the front it is free and can be moved in all directions. We can move as we want. Do you know the functions of the tongue? Do you know the functions, some of the functions of the tongue? For what purpose we use our tongue? Yes, now I'm talking with you. So the first purpose that we say, we are using the tongue for talking. Besides, it mixes the saliva in the food during the chewing and helps in swallowing the food. Means for mixing the saliva with the food and for the chewing, also for swallowing the food, this tongue helps. Okay, we also taste the food with our tongue. See here, various uses are there for the tongue. You can prepare the question, what are the uses of the tongue, or define the functions of the tongue. This question, many questions you can actually prepare here. The functions of tongue. Okay, so frame the question and write the answer. Now we are going to talk about the tongue. It has the taste buds that detect the different tastes of the food. Actually, tongue can tell us various tastes such as sweet, salty, bitter, or spicy. So to understand the taste buds are present on tongue, or tongue have various parts, various sections where taste buds are present, which detect the different tastes. And we can find out the position of the taste buds by the one activity which is given on the next page, activity number 2.4. Before that, let me see on the page number 14, they have given the very interesting little point, which is most important for us, mostly for those who likes to eat the sweets. Okay, so on the page number 14 you can see the point, sweets and tooth decay. Sweets and tooth decay. See, normally bacteria are present in our mouth, but they are not harmful to us. However, if we do not clean our teeth and the mouth after eating, many harmful bacteria also begin to live and grow in it. Actually, in every human's mouth, there is a presence of bacteria, but these bacteria are not harmful to us. If we do not clean our teeth, actually whatever the bacteria are present, that bacteria are not harmful. But if we do not clean our mouth or teeth after eating, many harmful bacteria, they start to begin to live and grow in it. So as this bacteria will grow, now here we are going to discuss what will be the effect of these bacteria. Okay, these bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release acids. We know that whenever we eat, at that time very small little particles may stuck into the spaces between the teeth. Okay, and whatever the leftover food is present in our mouth, that contain the sugar, and that sugar is broken down by the bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release the acids. Means as they break down the sugar, they produce or they release the acids. Now what is the acid? We are going to learn it in the chapter number 5. And these acids damage the teeth. Okay, actually our teeth are present, they are healthy, but if the particle remain and if you not clean the mouth or not clean the teeth, the bacteria break down the sugar and convert the sugar into the acids. Okay, and release the acids, and these acids are harmful, they damage the teeth, and this is called tooth decay. This is called tooth decay if it is not treated in time. Actually, tooth decay, we know the concept. Now many of you also are suffering from them. Okay, or many of the family members also know about it. Tooth decay, if it is not treated in time, if you have the tooth decay and if it is not treated in time, it causes severe toothache, and in extreme cases results in the tooth loss. If tooth decay is there, then I can say the stage start with the toothache. There is the act means you can't control the sensations, the toothache, and in extreme cases it result in the tooth loss, means there may be permanent loss of your teeth also. So you should take care. Now see which are the things they support this tooth decay. Okay, you should remain away from this. I know that you like to eat the sweet things and you like to enjoy it, but see which are the harmful effects of this sweets on the teeth. Okay, chocolates, sweets, soft drinks and other sugar products are the major culprits of tooth decay. Chocolates, sweets, soft drinks and other sugar products are major culprits of tooth decay, means these all are the reasons. They all can be the reason for your tooth decay, so you must take care. Okay, therefore one should clean the teeth with a brush or datun and dental floss, a special strong thread which is moved between the two teeth to take out the trapped food particles at least twice a day, and rinse of the mouth after every meal. If you don't want to make the damage to our teeth, or if you want to keep our teeth and mouth healthy, then everyone should clean the teeth with brush or datun and dental floss. Now what is the dental floss? It's a kind of special strong thread which is moved between the two teeth to take out the trapped food particles, and this we have to do at least twice a day, and rinse of the mouth after every meal, means we have to rinse the mouth, we have to wash our mouth after every meal. This all the care we have to take if you want to keep our teeth healthy. Also one should not put dirty fingers or any unwashed objects in the mouth. Many times we observe it in the classroom also, even you are in the standard 7th, but then also your friend or you may be also putting your dirty hand or dirty finger in the mouth. Sometimes it is unwashed, so it can also cause the various problems. So we have to take care. Okay, we have to take care about this. We should not work, or we should not just go through unwashed hand. We have to wash our hands and then only we have to put the finger for some purpose in the mouth. Okay, actually there are many interesting things which are very important for us, which plays a different role in our life. Many of the things are there which are actually looks like secret, but behind the secret there is a science. So let me see it on the page number 15. You can see the blue box. Sometimes when you eat in a hurry, talk or laugh while eating, you may cough, get hiccups or a choking sensation. I think you know that in school also or at home also, when you eat in hurry and suddenly you talk or laugh at while eating, then we feel coughing sensation, we cough, we get hiccups or a choking sensation. Then why don't you think that why it happened? This happened when the food particle enter the windpipe. We know some of the passages of our body, how the food goes into the stomach from the mouth. Then we have learned it in the previous classes about from the nose how the air goes into the lungs. So sometime we eat in hurry, the food particle they goes into the windpipe. The windpipe carries air from nostrils to the lungs. Nostril, the part of nose. From there the oxygen or air is taken to the lungs through the windpipe, and if the food particle goes in the windpipe, then we feel the sensations of coughing, hiccups, or choking sensation. Okay, it runs, now we are talking about windpipe, it runs adjacent to the food pipe. Windpipe runs adjacent with the food pipe, but inside the throat, air and food share a common passage. Throat is the common passage for air and food. Then how is the food prevented from entering the windpipe? Is a very interesting point to think about it. Think over it. Why? Inside the throat, the same passage, common passage, is shared by the windpipe and by the food pipe. Then why the food do not enter into the windpipe? During the act of swallowing, a flap-like wall closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. See, it's a very nice mechanism actually to think and to speak about it. Here we can say that when we eat something and we do the action of the swallowing, then there is a wall present, that flap-like wall closes and it gives the passage of the windpipe. It closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. Means wall stop the food to enter into the windpipe and guides to the food to go to the food pipe. It's a very interesting and very nice mechanism of this windpipe and food pipe, and by this wall. If by chance food particle enter the windpipe, we feel choked and get hiccups or cough. And suppose if the food enters into the windpipe, after this security also, if the food particle enters into the windpipe, then we feel choked sensation or hiccups or cough. Here you can prepare the question, frame the question. Now it's based on you. Okay, just think over it. Think on this blue box. Here you can get the one question. Just I'll give you hint. The hint is, this question is related with the give scientific reason. Okay, you prepare the question, you frame the question, and after watching this session, write in your notebook and send it me to WhatsApp. That's this question you have prepared. Okay, write also answer. Now let me see the activity number 2.4. Prepare a separate sample of each sugar solution, common salt solution, lemon juice, and juice of crushed neem leaf or bitter gourd. Blindfold one of your classmates and ask her or him to take out the tongue and keep it in a straight and flat position. Number 3, use a clean toothpick to put the above samples one by one on different areas of the tongue as shown in the figure 2.6. Use a new toothpick for each sample. Number 4, ask the classmate which areas of the tongue could detect the sweet, salty, sour and bitter substances. Number 5, now write down your observations and label the figure 2.6. Repeat the activity with the other classmates also. Now as you are present in your home, you can't complete or conduct this activity with your classmates, so you can conduct this activity with your parents, and your parents will also know about this, that they will also think that really my child is studying hard. Okay, so this is one of the opportunity for you to prove something, that you know something and that you like to learn the science. Okay, so this activity is very important for you, and this activity actually you have to conduct at your home. See what we require. We have to prepare the samples. Which samples we have to prepare? Sugar solution, common salt, then lemon juice, juice of crushed neem leaf or bitter gourd. These solutions we have to prepare, and we have to blindfold. Here actually they told in textbook classmate, but you blindfold your parent. Okay, now tell them to remove the tongue out. Now remember, very important, as you conduct this activity, wash your hands neatly. Okay, and then only conduct the activity. Now tell your parents to remove the tongue outside. Use the clean toothpick. Here I said clean toothpick. Use the clean toothpick to put the above samples one by one on different areas of the tongue. As you can just take the guidance on the page number 15, they have shown the figure of tongue, regions of the tongue for different tests. This figure actually you use for conducting this activity. Okay, now this conducting activity is very important. Now while just conducting the activity, just see the that when you conduct the activity, clean toothpick you have to use the samples, put it on different regions, and ask your parents which area of the tongue could detect the sweet, which area of the tongue could detect the salty, which area of the tongue could detect the sour, and which area of the tongue which detect the bitter substances. Okay, so these all the things just take into the mind, and you can complete activity. And when you understand which area detects sweet, which area detects salty, sour, and bitter substance, complete the figure 2.6. okay, this is also your homework. Write it in your, draw the figure and label the diagram. Understood? Okay, now let me see the next point. The food pipe, esophagus, which is shown in the figure 2.7, movements of the food in the esophagus of alimentary canal. You can see the figure, see very carefully. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. Food pipe have another word, that is the esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. Look at the figure 2.2. The food pipe runs along the neck and the chest. See what is the location of the food pipe. Food pipe runs along the neck and the chest. You just focus on the diagram. Okay, here the Paheli just want to ask you something. Paheli wants to know how the food moves in the opposite direction in the during the vomiting. When we feel vomiting at that time, or when the vomiting occurs, how the food moves in the opposite direction. Just we'll try to give the answer to the Paheli's question, but before that let me complete this point. The food pipe or esophagus. Now we are on the page number 16, which is on your screen. Food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. We know the food that's required for the body, and this food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. You can see it very clearly in the figure. They have shown how the movement of the food pipe takes place and how the food is pushed down. Actually, the food is pushed down by the movement of the wall of the food pipe. So the movement of the wall of the food pipe is very important. Actually, this movement takes place throughout the alimentary canal and pushes the food downwards. Figure 2.7 you can see for the reference. Okay, now here what I want to say, actually from the mouth, or I can say also whole the alimentary canal, movement is most important. Movement of the whole alimentary canal takes place continuously, and due to this movement only food is passed from the mouth to the last end of that alimentary canal. So I can say that whole the alimentary canal shows the movement, which is very important for the movement of the food. Okay, at time the food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out. Sometimes what happen, food is not accepted by the stomach and that has to be thrown out through the vomiting. So the same passage actually used by the stomach to throw out the unwanted part of the food. Now there are many reasons for the vomiting. Okay, actually when the stomach is not ready to accept the food, or the stomach don't want to accept the food, then stomach throw out the food. It's a kind of vomiting actually. Recall the instances when you vomited after eating and think of reason for it. Actually vomiting have the different reasons, but you have to think now at what time you vomited and what was the reason behind it. Discuss with your parents and teacher also. Now you can discuss with your parents, and when I vomited last time, or when the family, which family member or who vomited at last time in our family, and what was the reason behind it. So all the things just take into the mind. Okay, so this was about actually the vomiting, the reason behind it. And now we have just completed the point, the food pipe, that is the esophagus. Okay, now let me see the stomach. The stomach is a thick walled bag. You can see the figure they have shown there. You can see very clearly that's about a thick bag which is U shaped. Its shape is like flattened U. and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Stomach is the widest part of the alimentary canal. It receives the food from food pipe at one end. If we see the two ends of the stomach, we'll understand that its one end is receive the food from food pipe, okay, and from the another end where it opens into small intestine. It receives the food from food pipe at one end and it opens into the small intestine at the other end. The inner lining of the stomach secretes, now see, very important. Actually, we say that digestion takes place, but what is the digestion, how it takes place? Now in the stomach also the digestion is very important. Digestion takes place. How it takes place and why it takes place, let me see. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. See, I'll repeat it. Inner lining of stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. Now these are the secretions. So what is the role of these secretions for the digestion? Let me see. The mucus protect the lining of the stomach. Inside our body, from inner side, our stomach have protection of mucus. Mucus have lining inside the stomach. Now mucus is protect the lining of the stomach, means in whole I can say the inner part of the stomach or the stomach is protected by the mucus. Okay, now the second one, what is the role of hydrochloric acid? The hydrochloric acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food. See, hydrochloric acid actually have many roles. Out of that, number one is it kills the many bacteria that enter along with the food. When we eat something, from that food the bacteria also enter into the body, and along with the bacteria many just harmful germs also. So the bacteria also and germs also killed by the acid. Number two, or the second function of this acid is it makes the medium in the stomach acidic. Whatever we eat, for the digestion purpose it should be acidic. So that also work is done by the hydrochloric acid. So working of the hydrochloric acid is most important. First one I told, it kills the many bacteria. Second one I told, it makes the medium in the stomach acidic, means it makes the food acidic. And number third is it helps in the digestive juices to act, means it helps to the digestive juices also for their action. So hydrochloric acid plays a very important role. Now third one I can say, the digestive juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. Whatever protein is present in our body or in the food, that actually digested by the stomach itself. And stomach itself means digestive juices present in the stomach, they break down the protein into simple substances and it takes place in the stomach. So you're getting you understood the point, I hope so, that what is the role of the stomach, what is the role of the various juices that are secreted in our body in the stomach. We have also understood about the design of the stomach, about the food pipe, about the esophagus. Today we understood also about the tooth decay and the role of sweets for the tooth decay. We also understood the importance of the tongue, their detection of the taste, and also the about the food pipe, about the esophagus. So many points we have seen today. I also told for you to conduct an activity, just complete whatever I told, try to make the frame the questions and solve the answers. Okay, the next part of the lesson we will see in the next session. Thank you.